Welcome, everybody, to another episode of KDM. K standing for my good friend, co host, colleague, Kit Bowen. Hi, Kit.
Hi. And the D is for Dimitri Panos.
That's me. And the M stands for movies, because
Movies.
that's what Kit and I love to do. We love to talk movies, especially on this weekend, which is kind of a double whammy of weekends because today it's Friday the 13th and tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
And
So
then
happy
Mondays,
Valentine's Day.
you
The
too. And
Monday,
then
oh my
Monday's
God, it's a
President's
triple whammy.
Day.
President's Day. Wow, we got a triple whammy. So we got a long weekend, a Valentine's Day weekend, Friday the 13th, which I'm wearing my Friday the 13th hoodie, shirt, and the hat I'm wearing is actually called The Lucky.
And
So
I've got Mad Max, Fury
there
Road,
you
which is a
go.
very romantic movie.
There
Very
you
romantic
go.
movie.
Awesome. And
That doesn't
so,
make you
and
laugh?
then Mad Max is a very romantic
It
movie.
is.
It is. Yeah, it goes on vengeance of the a-hole drivers who killed his wife and kid.
No,
Um,
actually, no. It's his reluctance to tag along on this run with these girls. That's kind of Mad Max Fury Road.
oh, it's
Anyway,
Fury
yes.
Road. I thought it was just Mad Max. Oh, I like Fury
No,
Road
no,
too.
it's Fury
So,
Road. Fury
oh,
Road.
see, I told you it kept on disappearing into the logo, but that's a
Yes,
cool hat. I
this is one
like
of my
it.
favorites. Yeah, it's got like a
Nice.
little
That's awesome.
scratches.
So, being it is Valentine's Day weekend, we are going to be talking about I guess, sort of romantic movie. In any case, released very strategically on this long weekend and Valentine's Day weekend. I am talking about Emerald Fennell's latest, her take on Wuthering Heights, the 1800s novel written by, I know her last name, Bronte. What's her first name? Help
Emily.
me out, Kit.
Emily.
Emily Bronte.
Yes.
So, and
A
that,
very beloved
again,
book, yes.
correct, a very beloved book. And it is Valentine's Day weekend. So, this is our special Valentine's Day gift to you, depending on how you think about our reviews. We both saw the movie last night, and we're here to talk and tell you about it and our experiences. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Valentine's Day ahead of time to you. So, Kit, you two saw it last night. What did you think of Miss Emerald Fennell's version and take on Wuthering Heights?
I really liked it. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about it as far as started when Emerald Fennell, who's a very interesting filmmaker in my opinion. She wrote and directed this. She also wrote and directed Saltburn. Um, and gosh, what am I thinking? Oh, Promising Young Woman,
Promising
which was
Young
her.
Woman.
Yeah. Saltburn was also a bit,
Salty.
had some controversy to that as well. So she's not averse to that. So she's put this in quotes, the title, because she's loosely based her
Hmm.
movie on the Emily Bronte story, which is beloved. It's beloved by many women, many people. Actually, I don't think I've ever read the book, to be honest with you. I'm not a big of that time period type. That's not my most favorite books. So, like, I didn't read a whole lot of Jane Austen. I haven't read Emily Bronte, but I understand the appeal. And certainly, Kathy and Heathcliff are, in literary terms, one of the great romantic, pairings of all time in literature. So you got that going for you. But so for me, I'm not really, a huge fan of the book. So I'm not watching this from that perspective. And I know a lot of people who are Bronte heads, is what they call themselves, have not been happy with some of the choices
Did
that
not know that.
Emerald the Emerald made with this. But I was intrigued by it. I mean, um, first of all, it's amazingly beautiful to watch. I mean, she's captured some incredible scenery from the Scottish moors to, the Wuthering Heights house itself. It's very gothic. There's been some shots that's been in the trailers and stuff like Margot Robbie, Kathy walking with the, veil over her head and then the blowing in the wind. Anyway, I was visually, I thought it was very, you know, uh, engaging. And I was hooked from the start. And then, okay, I'm gonna be a girl for a second, watching two of the
Please.
most two of the most beautiful people on the planet. Holy hell, having this love affair.
Oh, you're funny.
I was just, yeah, I was intrigued. And I thought Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi did a great job with the performances, and I thought they meshed well together. Um, actually, Gray Drake, who's like one of my favorite commentators, she's an entertainment journalist, been around for a long time. I just caught a little bit of her review on KTLA or whatever she does reviews for. And she says, it's kind of interesting. The thing I guess is if your kink is to be turned on by being sad, then this movie's for you, she said. So I thought that was kind of funny.
That is
Uh,
kind of funny.
because it is sad, because we all know. And of course, the Kate Bush song just kept running through my head. Have you ever heard Heathcliff, it's me, Kathy. I've come home now. Anyway, bad, bad, bad. That was bad.
Uh,
But anybody who's a Kate Bush fan will know what I'm talking about. She wrote a song about Wuthering Heights. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it had everything. I guess I know I could see some of the problems. Some people are like, when you'll probably point these things out, they didn't see a whole lot of connection between the two characters and they thought it was too superficial, which I could see. But, oh, and the other production design of it too is just costumes and production design. I mean, that house that she ends up living in with her husband, very interesting, very stark,
yes.
but also ornate.
Uh,
And each
I
room was
mean,
like different.
almost out of a fantasy world. I
Yeah.
mean, I want to talk about the house, and I
I
do want
like
to
the
talk.
Christmas room with the blue, looks like,
Yes,
gems on the
yes.
wall, and
My God,
her
yes,
bedroom was
yeah,
like her face, and I don't know. All of that kind of stuff
yeah.
was drew me in. And the story,
Hmm.
we kind of know the story, but again, I kind of well liked watching them having sex and being in love and then not being in love and longing and frustration and so yeah, I dug it. Sorry.
No need to be sorry. I mean, I mean, yeah. Never apologize for your opinion. Not when we're doing our show. No,
Yeah,
seriously, that's
yeah,
what we do. So never apologize for your opinion, regardless if we agree or disagree. And in this case, we are going to disagree. I actually, I call it Downton Tawdry. I found it. Yeah, to me, this is a movie that proves that you actually can put lipstick on a pig. Why do I say that? Because the movie, as you just said, looked fantastic. I mean,
right.
from the from production design, the cinematography, all of it gorgeous. The costumes and especially the ones that Margot Robbie
Oh,
wore while she was in the castle or the manor. Each one was beautiful and gorgeous. And even Emerald Fennell's direction I found to be very sweeping. And I wondered if she was ever in her life a photographer because she knows
yes,
how to take a
she
picture,
really
and it
does.
really does, right? And I give her credit, but I also have to give we have to call out the cinematographer here, Linus Sandgren, who did I mean the cinematography was great.
Yeah,
And when you couple it with a director who seems to know the shot that she wants, uh, specifically scenes in the house
Yeah.
you mentioned, and yeah, I did. I found all of that to be beautiful, but yet for me, it had the movie had the emotional and thematic depth of a Harlequin romance novel.
I
Now,
can see, like I said, it
for
I can
for
see where you
certain,
saw the
yeah,
superficiality of it. I
it,
can see that. I can see that.
now, like, look, and to me, Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, they are the cover. They have the book cover models of this Harlequin novel. Look, I understand, and I grew up in that era where the Harlequin novel was very popular. I think you did too, right? Like and one understands why. It's not too much difference as to why the Hallmark Channel, minus the sex, is so popular.
Yes.
Okay, and do not begrudge that. And I get it, and it's serving for an audience. Um, and I get it. Some people are just going to eat this up, and that's perfectly fine. Go and have a good time with that. But man, I didn't. Number one, the many of the characters were despicable,
Yes.
um, and I found that very hard to like. I'm like going, uh, what could women see in Jacob Elordi's character? And
Well,
you
Heathcliff,
said two of the most Heathcliff. Go
but
ahead.
Heathcliff's character, I mean, he is considered, not your standard sort of dashing. He's not Mr. Darcy, let's just say that, right? He's always
Fair.
been painted as, a brute, rough, coarse, doesn't have any, refinery. And then even when he comes back after making his way and and becoming rich, he still has those qualities to him. So Heathcliff has always been kind of like that. However,
Uh,
Jacob
that's
definitely
fine.
portrays him
Well,
to be
I
a
think it's the
meanie.
script that,
Yeah.
I mean, and he's above and beyond. We can talk about that. There will be some spoilers if you're not familiar, because I want to talk about the way that this is sold and marketed as well. But yeah, I didn't I didn't find that their performances were any great shakes. I didn't find like I had a hard time buying into romance. In fact, I more believed the kids' romance,
Yeah, they were very
or the
cute.
kids into teenagers. I more found that kind of reminded me of David Copperfield,
Yeah.
Estrella, and like it kind
Yeah.
of had that vibe
Great
to me. And
expectations. Great
great expectations. Oh,
expectations.
forgive me. You're right. Great expectations. I
Yeah.
loved and the kids were very good too.
Yeah, they
I thought the
were
kids were they
very
cast
cute.
them
Very pretty.
very much so,
Yeah,
and
it's a
the
pretty movie. You're
reason
right. It is a pretty
very
movie.
pretty.
It's like watching a Hallmark movie, but with some depth to it and some beautiful
Yeah.
scenery and a little
I,
bit. So for me, that
no,
was okay. So I am one of those.
this Yeah, no, which is fine, and I understand.
But
Look,
here's,
it's
I
a
want to bring
very
something. I want to bring up a point.
sure.
This movie, like we said, I think Emerald Fennell is definitely a filmmaker to watch. She's gonna get
Mhm.
there sometime. But she likes to do kind of she's a little bit like Sophia Coppola in the way too, very Marie Antoinette was kind of a superficially, very stylistic kind
Okay.
of take on that. But
Good comp.
I
Yeah,
was thinking
okay.
about it I was thinking about it on my walk today about sort of the differences between this love affair with literary characters to the Hamnet love affair with Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley and how that had more depth and more,
Okay.
so I
Yeah.
don't know. I just thought of that of if you were to see a romantic movie, I mean, even though Hamnet's not really
I
a
get
romantic
it. I
movie.
mean,
Yeah, like in the literary form, like this is. I mean, I would be curious to see what I mean.
I
Did you like Pride and Prejudice, the one with Keira Knightley?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen it, and yes, yeah, I mean, and that's very visually
So for you,
beautifully shot.
was that more of a
I
of a
would, yes,
romance that okay.
say,
Okay. Yeah.
I would say of that sweeping type of
Yeah.
romance, sure. This one, again, I just didn't find the characters likable. They were each so very mean-spirited, and I found that the Heathcliff character here too was, I mean, to call him misogynistic is, I think that's being kind. And
Well, he's only misogynistic when he
and I
wants to
also
be.
found the movie to be, hmm, okay.
I didn't
When he
think he was
wants to be,
he's
that means
not,
he's
but I'm just saying
misogynistic.
when
I
he
mean,
was, but that was an intent to be like that.
oh, when
You're talking about with the other character.
when he was with Isabella,
Yeah. But that
Isabella,
was
played by Oliver, yeah, having her as a dog, like how does that fly today? Like how does that make that character more likable? Like
yeah,
even
she
though
didn't
he
need that
warns
scene.
her ahead of time, like he literally there is a scene in which, yeah, that was kind of a rough scene.
Yeah, but
Um,
she
I also
wanted
found the
it.
movie to be
Anyway,
within the
it's
characters
kind
and
of I
shallow
mean,
in the wait. Well, no, I know, but shallow in the means of you have Jacob Elordi, and he goes off, comes back, and all of a sudden it's not, oh, the handsome man, it's, oh, he's rich. Not man, he's rich.
yeah,
And
but
I'm
that
like,
happens in
okay,
the book.
oh, I made the bad decision. She says, and it's like, yeah, you made the bad decision years ago, huh? I,
Yeah,
it
I
just
know.
to
Well, she
me,
knows
I don't
that.
know. I just found it,
You
and I
missed
never
it.
knew. Like, I
Dimitri,
don't
you
know if the
missed
book
it.
explains. I missed what?
You missed the fact
What
that
did I miss?
she knew she made the mistake
No,
5 years
but
ago.
I said that. I said that. I mentioned she knew she makes the mistake, but she only mentions it when he comes back and he's rich, and the first words are he's rich. Oh, you're rich. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I made a mistake.
Well,
So
no, she
I'm
knew
like,
we
okay,
saw her
that's
lawn and
fine.
that's the first time she sees him, so it doesn't matter. He comes in the
Yeah,
book, he comes
and
back rich.
you're rich. Yeah, and maybe
Here's
the
my
book
point.
explains.
Here's my point.
Right.
Why
Go ahead.
if she's gonna do this so liberally and taking why doesn't she just leave the husband, and go off with Heathcliff? I don't understand. That's the part that frustrated me. I'm like, okay, so this is sort of a new take on this, and I know it doesn't really follow the book at all, but why don't you just go ahead and go be with him?
Yeah, and again, the time period of which it takes place, I'm not sure how divorce was taken, but you are correct. And I think that could have been an interesting path to take, especially in that time period. And it would have been a more woman of empowerment kind of thing because,
Yeah,
a woman looking to take life into her own hands, but she did make her own bed and lie in it. And I guess from this couple's entwining, from Kathy and Heathcliff, everybody around them gets hit with their shrapnel. And everybody around them, like her husband, whom she married for money, okay?
yeah,
And again, he's not as strapping as Jacob Elordi. I understand that. I get it, right? But he's not a bad man, and he's by no means what I would consider ugly. And he never mistreated her. We don't see that he's like a jerk to her.
right.
It's tragic what happens to him. I also believe that Nellie, Nellie's also for me the way I viewed her as played by Hong Chow. She's a very tragic character as well
Yes.
because her and Kathy, again, Nellie's brought in because she's a bastard stepchild of some rich people, and she's cast away. Kathy's father takes her in and pays her to be a companion to Kathy. They are a companion, but it goes more than a job. They actually, at least the way Nellie looks at it, is that they're actually true friends. But when Heathcliff comes in, and again, it's another kind of a charity case. He's brought into the family fold, and it's like, oh, here's the shiny new pet toy, and she just completely abandons Nellie, sadly.
Yeah.
And I think Nellie's purpose, like, yes, she was hurt, but I think she always believed that she was protecting Kathy, like she was trying to do her best to protect the person who she still loved as her friend, through her young life and through her adult life. And both the husband and Nellie, like,
Yeah.
they just get savaged, and that was, I don't know, it didn't hit with me that these two, and they were very mean people. They were mean to people around them. They were mean to one another, and purposely so.
Yeah.
And again, I think Jacob Elordi's Heathcliff does some things that I'm like, really? This is what women like. This is what he has capability of doing and
Right.
being. With all that aside, again, you could not take away. I want to talk about like the house. There were
Uh,
scenes in that house. The fireplace and the red
I
around the
know.
fireplace
I know.
was gorgeous. You talk that Christmas room. The Christmas room to me, where did they
I know.
get
I love
that?
that
I don't know if
Christmas
it was
room.
it wallpaper? How does it glitter?
I don't
How do the
know. It
walls
looked
glitter
like
like the
gems,
stars? I know.
like
Like
a geote. They
I,
carved
I,
it
I
out.
felt as if I was in some fantasy. I mean, the Christmas room was like
Also,
gorgeous.
the other striking image me is of course, but this is really not spoiling much because the book, when Kathy dies and she
Mm.
finally miscarries or whatever it is that ends up happening, and there's just that blood spreading out. Oh, I don't know. For me, some that
Yeah,
over it's also like 30 Days a Night. I think I've talked about this, the vampire movie where it's snow
yeah,
and
yeah,
blood,
yeah.
and that overhead shot of blood on a white kind of or a beige surface like that. It's very striking, very
Well, what about the scene just prior to
yeah,
that,
with the
where she was in bed
leeches.
with the leeches, and they're like on the wall and the bed and in the
Yeah,
bowl and on her, and I'm like, wow, it was very striking. So again, I just look at it going, Emerald Fennell's composition is fantastic. I do find her to be interesting, but my view, it was to me she peaked at Promising Young Woman. That movie to me was a movie of substance, as tragic as it was, and but there was a story to be told. It was a story of revenge, let's say, very interesting, and I could see something like that happening today. And at the end of that movie, tragic as it is, people who were responsible for certain things got their
yeah,
comeuppance
right.
in a way. Saltburn to me was,
Well, Saltburn I
I don't
read is,
know.
she Emerald grew up in a very rich posh, they call it posh
Yes.
environment herself. And so she
Hmm.
was basically, uh, painting that picture in a way, and how
Right.
an outsider can come into this world and take over basically. So,
Mm.
that was kind of speaking to more who what she grew up with, which I thought was interesting too. Yeah, but Saltburn also has some very weird stuff going on, and
A lot of weird
yeah,
stuff.
she's but I
It,
still think she has it in her to make a
well,
really like an Oscar quality movie. I mean, Promising Young Woman,
I
did it get nominated? I can't even remember. I don't think it did.
I forget.
She won
I
though.
know
She won
as
for
the Hol
screenplay.
I believe that for the HCA, she had gotten some awards, and it was her first film. Um, I believe that Wuthering Heights is probably at this point in her career her most accessible. I mean, I think it's the one that women
Yeah,
in
she
particular
did. She
are
won
going
the
to go to.
Oscar. She won the Oscar for the screenplay
Promising
for
Young
Promising Young
Woman.
Woman. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so yeah, I think thus far this is probably her most accessible.
Yeah.
And I do believe that there's
And
the
probably
audience.
most commercial, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah. When I think about it,
she worked with Jacob before, so that was
yes. Hmm.
they had worked together, and I don't think Margot was in any of her other ones. I don't think so. But
No, no. And Margot is someone who I respect and appreciate. I think she's a very fine, talented, yeah, she's a very beautiful woman, but I think she's talented and she's a smart businesswoman, and she will, with her lucky chap, she will take risks in
yeah,
what she produces, which I really love, but I also believe she takes risks in roles that she takes as well, which
yeah,
many actresses wouldn't do.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I do find that I find this to
So
be her most
for you,
accessible
I
commercial.
think you don't.
But I had
The
one other gripe.
performances were okay, but you just felt the script kind of did them
Yeah,
disservice.
yeah. I mean, when they're out in the pouring rain, out in the wherever they're out in the wilderness, they're out in the moors, and it's pouring out like a California rainstorm pouring out. They're both soaked to the bone, and Jacob Elordi is like, "You're wet." She's like, "No, I'm not." And I'm like, going, "Oh boy!" And then she goes, "You're cold." "No, I'm not." I was like,
It's
I
very
choked on
defiant.
my popcorn. But the other thing too, because the trailers kind of sold it, and I think a lot of articles, there have been some articles written about the movie. To me, if you're going to be selling a movie as steamy sex, give it to me. We're products. Speaking for myself, I'm a product of movies from the 80s and 90s when the R rating was a legit R rating. And, take it almost any Michael Douglas movie, but movies of that era, especially late 80s going into the 90s, I think a lot of critique was, it has to have an obligatory sex scene in it. There were rated R movies that pushed the envelope of rated R movies. They were steamy sex movies. This one I found like, I mean, they didn't, with the exception of Jacob Elordi. I mean, it was a lot of, it seemed a lot of heavy petting. There was not a lot of like clothes taking off. There wasn't anything very, I didn't find it to be anything
Yeah, they kept
steamy
their
or
clothes on a
anything.
lot. They were, pardon my French, they were fucking a lot, but they had their clothes on. And he was under her dress a lot, and
A lot.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I thought it was very like because of course they grew up together as these kids, and then they kind of start lusting at each other, but in their environment and the timing, it wasn't, she didn't want to, she wasn't quite ready to go for it all, even though he probably, he was. I also really kind of liked that scene where she's watching two of her servants having sex, also kind of in a weird
Oh,
way with horses
yeah.
and stuff like that. But she starts to watch him, and he comes and he covers her eyes and and her mouth so that she can only hear it and not really see it. He's like trying to protect her in a way. I don't know. I found that very interesting, and
I
that,
did. You know what?
I
I
just
did too. I'm glad you brought that up.
and that was kind of
Because
a
I found it
sexy
to be
scene. That was very sexy
but I
to
found
me.
it to be sweet.
Sweet.
Like he's like, don't,
You
this
don't,
isn't for
this is
you.
not for
And
you. Yeah.
and then everything thereafter is to the
So
contrary.
they
It's in
kind of,
great
I mean,
contrast to that.
the whole time they have this affair, it's very, it's almost like they're kids, like they're teenagers, So, and they're finding
Almost.
any times and they're kissing and they can't quit kissing and, that kind of stuff. That's sort of how I saw it. And yeah, maybe it could have gotten a little steamier. That would have been, I was kind of waiting for that myself, but, I still, I was still in it. So, but yeah, you're right. She didn't
It,
get naked
it,
too much.
which is
Never
okay,
saw her
and I get
boob.
Margot Robbie, in Wolf of Wall Street, there was a lot more steamier kind of scenes in Wolf of Wall Street. And again, I get it. Have Jacob Elordi, take off his shirt. I
Right.
I understand. I understand the audience that she's going for. She's going to hit the audience. That's fine. But
Right.
when you market a movie on that, again, growing up when I did, and even raunchy comedies, movies like Porky's and such, I saw a
Well,
lot
look,
of stuff, and
I have to say that, yeah, I mean, I think last year's, was it last year or the year before? Um, Baby Girl, that was kind of a very
that was
sexy
last
movie too. Yeah,
year's.
that was very sexy. But, for me, it's like Body Heat. I remember
Oh,
just going,
Body Heat. Yeah, 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 yeah.
whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah, yeah. Body Heat.
whoa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Was double indemnity with major sex.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
hell.
and there was
So much
that. What was
sex.
that? What
That
was
was a
that
good
Mickey
one.
Rourke movie
Oh yeah, that one too. I love
too?
that one. Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger. We remember who's in it, and
Oh,
we
she
forget
was
the
so
movie.
beautiful
But
too. Oh my God.
yes, but you know the movie. Should we like? Okay, folks. It's
And then Fatal
if only we
Attraction
had
was
a
really good
device that we.
too.
Well, Fatal Attraction. Don't forget Disclosure
Yeah,
too.
not so much that.
I don't know, like Disclosure. So too bad we didn't have devices that we can might look something up. So who is in? So I said Mickey Rourke, right?
Yeah, I can't
Uh,
remember it.
the
Something.
oh, there we go. Yeah, God, it was one of those movies that at the time,
Oh, I
oof, like
loved
they
it.
were,
I actually
you
can still
know,
watch that one.
really.
Also,
Uh,
Body
t-
Heat.
t- 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 2025. No, 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 no. See y'all. I don't know why. IMDb, you're letting me down. You're letting me down, IMDb. Because this was at least in the 19 late 80s, would you say?
I'll find it
This
before you.
movie? You probably will. You probably will. And 9.5 weeks.
Yeah, there we go. That's it.
9.5 weeks.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that was another movie. So peak. You like if you're going to market it that way, look at those movies that we just discussed.
Yeah.
Go for the R. I'm not saying this movie's not rated R. I wouldn't be like, this is not bring your teen daughter to the movies day. This isn't the family movie time. Look, the theater that I saw it in was crowded. I would say near sellout, if not sellout.
Yeah.
So it was comprised, I'd say 90%, and I may be conservative on my percentage, women. It was definitely a women's night out for sure. Fine, and that's
Yeah,
great.
so I
I
would
have
probably
no
give
issue.
it a solid 4 stars. That's for me. Because I was not bored
I
with it and I liked it. So,
I give it a 1.5, and the half goes for all the visual stuff that I said. It's in there. I do find Emerald Fennell to be a very interesting movie director, storyteller. I wonder if she'll ever direct a movie that she hasn't written. That would be interesting for me. But listen, this movie is more than likely, whether I like it, dislike, or whatever, it's probably going to do well this long weekend, and people are
yeah.
going to talk about it, and it'll get butts and seats, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I just didn't find it to be that great. So
Okay.
that's all. But we will have more movies coming up. We still have the rest of February. And there's some good stuff. If you watched the Super Bowl, you probably saw some, hopefully, thought some of the movie trailers you saw were great. The Steven Spielberg movie, I just can't wait for. That
Right.
movie looks so good.
Interesting. Yes.
Uh,
Looks good.
yeah. So, and hopefully we get to go to the movies sometime soon.
Yep. Yep. We'll see.
That'll be
See what
very
comes
fun
up.
too. And we do wish you, oh, and please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment.
Yep.
What did you think of Wuthering Heights? And A, did you read the book? Did you see I believe the original movie with Sir Laurence Olivier? Um, I've also learned that in some cases in high school and such, the book was a required reading. It wasn't for me.
Wasn't for me
And
either.
even in, it wasn't for me, but I've read some things where people said, yeah, I had to read this in high school and
I mean,
whatnot.
I read
So,
Great Expectations way more. I had to read that a couple of times.
yeah, I
Woo!
at least twice for me. At least
Dickens was
twice
not
for
my
me.
favorite either.
But you like the movies, though.
Yeah, I do, of
You're a
course.
time period person.
Oh
Like, I
yeah.
don't know, there was
Oh
this,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, I enjoy the Jane Austen movies for sure.
Hmm.
But I don't need to read pages and pages and pages of what they're wearing or what I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just it's just same with like Game of Thrones, any of those where it's very dense, lots of, Lord of the Rings, it's pages, pages, pages about trees. It's like, okay, we get it. I'd just rather watch I like how they truncate it for me in cinematic
They
form.
put
So
it
there you
into
go.
in cinematic form. And this movie is very cinematic.
Yes.
That's the other thing that Emerald Fennell made a very cinematic movie. This is not streaming. It is meant to be seen in a
Oh,
movie theater.
definitely.
I know some screens, some theaters are showing it or showcasing it on IMAX and whatnot. It is a movie to take in a movie theater because it is that sweeping. And
Yeah.
she along with her team capture a time period, and she makes it look fantastic. Her
Yes.
and her crew. So she had an amazing crew working for her. So I have to
Yep.
give credit where credit is due, and I give
Okay.
you credit because you always deserve it. Thank you
Thank you,
for
and to
everything.
you.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
guys. So
you have a
yeah,
happy
so we'll
Valentine's
sign off
Day.
for now, but we'll happy Valentine's to you and everyone out there. And we
We
will
love
be
you.
back again at some point here talking
I hope
movies.
so.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.